When Rena gets her next case in Lost Witness, it's a fascinating one. What inspired you to first want to go out on that kind of a creative limb?
So we're coming off Martin Fellows, and that's pretty hard to beat. Okay, and your job as a writer is to beat your last book, right? I mean, you have to try to do that. And the idea of Nathan G. Cava, who is he's a this guy. He's addicted to the television ads for the drugs we see on TV. Okay, so if he sees a commercial on TV, he thinks that he needs it, and he's a doctor, so he can write the script and get it. But he's a hitman, and uh, uh, I don't know what to say except that he really I call that my first and only sort of psychedelic thriller. It's if it's not Kava, it's what is it, Benny, the Cadillac King.
How far over into the dark side, quote unquote, do you have to go when you're writing in that kind of a headspace?
For me, you have to realize when I write those scenes, I'm laughing. Okay, like I'm cackling. I write the scene and then I have to walk out in the living room and get the you know it's it's that's a terrific book. It's a horrific book and a thriller. Yeah, she has to remain vulnerable in some way, and Matt certainly is vulnerable because he's injured. Uh, it, we're in, I guess, in book four, we're at the end of January, and he became a homicide detective in October. And in October, he was shot four times. So he's still wounded. And that's a real help with a male character to have uh, him, the vulnerability like that. I think for a new writer to create an interesting character, they have to look at their life and the people they've met along the way. And I think that they need to sort of think about it the way you would think of a band. You know what I mean? You need a mix of people in your stories that sort of um, fills it out. Like you have a percussion section, you know, you have bass, you have the lead, you have the rhythm, you uh, the chorus over here, the lead singer. Um, you have a complete, sort of mix of people who are different, who are supporting your hero. Remember, your hero is almost like a mirror. Okay, it's like watching, you know, cable news or something. You're, the, actually the MC is a mirror for the characters. The hero in the story is a mirror for the characters that are around him or her, and how they react.
With the next book in the series, Murder Season, what did you do with Lena to keep it exciting for you before it even ever got to readers?
I really felt that need, and with the nightclub and the whole sort of night scene, and um, uh, I just felt the need for a more kind of sophisticated kind of thriller. And I love that story, and I love some of the suspense techniques that are in it, especially with the cell phone. I borrowed that from myself in this new book, but didn't use it in the same kind of way. But yeah, I just felt that she has progressed a little, but what if you notice what she's doing? She's doing a lot of the things that are happening in the dead room with Teddy. Um, one of the and the other thing I have to say about Lena, especially, is that I think the quiet moments in those novels are the best moments. When sometimes when she's like with Rhodes sitting in the car and they're just sort of, they're really in a jam, and that's the best. The more you can get your character in a jam, the better off you're going to be as a writer. Okay, because conflict is speed in a story. Okay, not action. action slows the story down. Action is you've stopped. Your story stopped. Okay, until you get out of the car chase, it's the story stopped. What keeps the story moving quickly is conflict. And okay, so your hero, okay, Lena or Matt, they have an opponent who's hidden, okay, who might be driving the scenes, but there are 4 or 5 different opponents in the story who are applying pressure. Um, Whether it's some rich society person who's trying to close the investigation down, or the chief of police who's all over her back and Matt's back, a supervisor, uh, the more conflict that you can put, the more tension that you can create for your character, okay, the deeper the hole you throw your hero in, the better your story. No question about it, in my opinion. That is speed.
What do you feel makes both your recurring and standalone supporting cast characters memorable book in and out?
My advice is for everyone to go rent a movie called Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock and take a look at it. And what you're going to find, okay, because this is a story about love, okay, this is a thriller, but what it really is a story about love. What you're going to find, it's a murder, it's a thriller, okay, it's going to be, but it's about love. If you look in every one of the windows that Jimmy Stewart's looking in, you're going to see a variation on a theme of love. Okay, you've got the newlywed couple, you've got the woman, Miss Lonely Hearts, you've got the woman who's going to commit suicide because she's so lonely. You have the woman that's fighting off men at parties. You have the missing wife of the killer. So I really believe that in a good thriller, every single character in the story is a variation of that theme. So that when you get to the end and you bring it all together, it just resonates. And then it's, in other words, your reader isn't reading it, they're feeling it. And that's what you're trying to accomplish. You want them to feel it. Okay. You want it to hit them right here in the chest.
What's been the biggest thrill throughout your career hearing from fans of your books?
Um, Someone told me that they were on a cruise and they saw Barbara Streisand reading Access to Power. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Please share your secret for what keeps it fun for you after doing this so many years.
I think my favorite part of all this is, my favorite part is right where I am now with my new book, and that is I'm cleaning up a first draft, and it gives and it just gives you so much pleasure to you sit there and you say, I sit there and I really, somebody, let me just put it this way. I really believe for me, somebody said, your books, they're not alike, um, I really believe for me that I have to relearn how to write a book every time I write a new book. I have to start over. I don't know how I did it the last time. I have to relearn the whole process. And I always start at zero. And maybe that's why they are different. But um, I don't feel that I have retained anything from the experience, other than the fact that just a general feel for what I want to do.